This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by DICE. Coming up on Destructoid, Black Ops 2 reveals new Elite details, Metro Last Light is ditching its multiplayer, and Sleeping Dogs is finally getting some awesome DLC. Find out about all these things right now on Destructoid.
Welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Happy Monday, Max Scoville.
Happy Monday, Tara Long.
How are you doing this fine day?
I'm doing okay, in spite of the fact I did not go to the New York Comic Convention this weekend.
Oh, yeah, I heard that happened.
That was a thing that happened, and we have some news about it. We also have news about other things, such as games.
We do, yes. Always nice to start the week off with some Black Ops 2 news, and today we've got some juicy multiplayer details. Activision held a big press conference this morning to make some announcements regarding their Call of Duty Elite service. And turns out it's going to be free.
Oh.
Yep, it's going free.
Lovely.
This means that all of the features that were once exclusive to Elite members, like detailed stat tracking, map info, match history, replays, social networking for clans, way more is now going to be available to everyone who buys Black Ops 2. And, you know, I may not be the biggest COD player around, but I know who is. Jackie Talbot, Revision 3's resident COD expert / second redhead in command. I'm the captain. She's a big fan of the Elite service, and it definitely seems helpful for people who play the game a lot, which I know she does. Of course, nothing in this world is free, not even your precious video games. In Modern Warfare 3, the Elite service was tied to monthly DLC, and while that will not be the case for Black Ops 2, the free Elite service also won't include any new maps or content. For that, there's going to be a separate Season Pass option. So the Season Pass will now include all new multiplayer content as well as add-ons for the zombie mode. You'll be able to buy individual DLC packs for $15 each through 2013, or you can spend $50 all at once and save yourself $10 in the long run, which you can then use to spend on Call of Duty branded Mountain Dew.
Yeah!
Yeah, I knew you'd like that.
I like sodas.
Yep. Anyway, this is great news for everyone, especially, you know, since video game companies aren't exactly known for giving stuff out for free.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I mean, you know, you're gonna just have a season pass for DLC and stuff. That's fine. But having like the social media thing, you can get your gang all together and shoot each other in the face.
Get the gang back together.
Now, on a less bro-y note, I suppose, I'm sure you nerd bags are well aware because I told you earlier that the New York Comic Con took place this weekend, and I'm bitter that I didn't get to go to it. So I'm going to be talking about comic book related video game news right now, and you have to listen because I said so. Now, one game I'm extremely eager to learn more about is High Moon Studios' Deadpool game, based on my all-time favorite Marvel character. I'm absolutely terrified they're going to screw it up, but so far everything looks pretty cool, aside from Nolan North's voice being a few octaves too low. But they've also announced the inclusion of Domino.
Whoa.
Yeah, Domino is, she's run in the same circles as Deadpool since her first appearance back in X-Force number 11, way back in 1992, and considering that she's also a mercenary / assassin / adventurer anti-hero type person, she and Deadpool often play similar roles. Her superpower is basically just being really lucky, which I guess translates to a video game pretty well, like better chance of a critical hit, or maybe she's harder to hit or something if you're shooting her, I don't know. It's unclear what part she's going to play in the game, but she will be joining the ranks of previously announced characters Wolverine and Psylocke. So basically any Marvel character who has either used a sniper rifle or been a ninja at some point. So. In other Marvel news, Pinball Wizard Zen Studios unveiled this new table based on the Marvel Civil War miniseries, which lets you choose sides with either Iron Man or Captain America, depending on how you feel about the Superhuman Registration Act. This pinball machine table will be hitting iOS, Android, Mac, Windows, XBLA, and PSN as a cross-buy for either the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation Vita. So basically every platform possible except for Nintendo, which I guess you don't get the pinball for that. Now, switching gears to DC news, last week I talked about the newly revealed Green Arrow in Injustice: Gods Among Us, and Destructoid editor-in-chief Dale North got to go hands-on with him. Green Arrow's archery-themed abilities are sort of weird for like close-range combat, but apparently they're being brought into the game by having him being able to switch between different quivers, selecting either fire, electric, or ice-type arrows, the latter of which lets him pull off some kind of cool, no pun intended, Sub-Zero-esque moves. Dale's got a pretty technical little preview of that over on Destructoid gameplay.com, so you should go read that. If I sounded uninterested about this last week when I was talking about it, that was just because I wish that we had more than just Green Arrow to talk about, because this game looks very cool, and I hate being drip-fed these rosters. It's not fair. Finally, fans of Usagi Yojimbo will be happy to hear that the cult hero Samurai Bunny is getting his own video game courtesy of Happy Giant. The game is called Usagi Yojimbo: The Way of the Ronin, and it'll be hitting iOS, Android, and PC sometime this fall. The game it's got these like hand-drawn high-res sprites that are modeled after Stan Sakai's original art, and the guys at Happy Giant claim that as huge fans they're staying really true to the source material. Personally, I think it looks a little bit flash gamey, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. If nothing else, it is just cool that Usagi Yojimbo is getting some love as aside from just like a cameo in a Ninja Turtles game or something. So
Stop with your silly Japanese
he's
words.
a rabbit who's also a samurai.
Ah.
All right, your turn.
Okay. So the first quarter of 2013, there's so many games coming out. It may as well be holiday gaming season part 2. And one of those games that I'm particularly excited about is Metro Last Light. I saw a private demo of this at E3 this year and was super impressed with everything. The creepy atmosphere and just the whole aesthetic of the game really pulled me in. And now I'm happy to announce that the developer, 4A Games, has dropped the once planned multiplayer mode. Yeah, this was kind of a big announcement. 4A announced this decision on their blog last Friday. They said, quote, after E3, we decided to fold this multiplayer team back into the main group and focus 100% on the single-player campaign. Apparently, a small group of people had been working on some multiplayer prototypes, some of which were shown off in screenshots at E3. We didn't actually get to see any footage of it. They've since abandoned that effort, but 4A said they might consider returning to the multiplayer project once the single-player game ships. So, personally, I'm really happy about this news. We've been hearing a lot of noise lately about games adding in multiplayer components for the sake of selling extra copies or charging, a monthly subscription fee or limiting used trade-ins or any number of reasonable explanations, really. But rarely does it turn out to be a good addition. And in the case of Metro Last Light, the game has a huge emphasis on storytelling in the post-apocalyptic setting. That's a hard one. So, it's all about isolation, and it absolutely does not need multiplayer whatsoever. So good on you, 4A Games. Between this and the positive reviews for Dishonored, which is another excellent single-player only game, I can only hope that more publishers begin to take notice and realize that not every single frickin' game needs multiplayer, people. Also, by the way, if you are looking to brush up before next year's release of Metro Last Light, Metro 2033 is on sale right now on Xbox Live this week for $10, which is half off its normal price. That promotion will run until Monday, so go get you some, girl.
Damn, $10 for a game where you're trapped in a basement and there's guys scaring you?
It's not a basement. It is a subway
like
system.
A really big basement. It's like a basement of a city.
All right.
Okay, so United Front Games' kick-ass Hong Kong sandbox crime game Sleeping Dogs came out way back in August, but in spite of all the big titles coming up, it is still firmly planted on my best of 2012 list, and I've been eagerly awaiting some news about solid campaign DLC that's not just like, 3 motorcycles and a racetrack for $5 or whatever. This weekend, I got what I was hoping for and then some. At their Comic-Con panel, Nightmare in North Point was announced, which is going to give the Hong Kong criminal underworld a supernatural twist just in time for Halloween, or presumably sometime around Halloween. The story follows a triad member who was tortured and killed, but then comes back to life with an undead army, and before we all groan and roll our eyes because we are sick of zombie games, it is probably worth noting that this undead army is based on Chinese mythology, and the undead triad members will have glowing blue eyes, and when they're killed, they disappear in a green flash. Wei Shen is still the game's hero, except he now has lightning fists, which apparently come from drinking some magic tea, and apparently later in the game he's going to go up against some Jiangshi, which is Chinese vampires, and for that he will be using a peachwood sword, which is apparently a weapon commonly used by Taoist exorcists. So basically it's Big Trouble in Little China, except it's in regular China because it's in Hong Kong. Is that regular China? I guess that's sort of like a different Little China. Anyway, it's Chinese sorcery and kung fu. I want it. Can I have it, please, Square Enix? There's no price point yet, but the new DLC is said to offer a few hours of content. It doesn't matter. You're fighting Chinese zombies. I'm sold. If you guys haven't checked out Sleeping Dogs, the full regular game, I really recommend you go do so. It's currently down to like $40 on Amazon for PS3 and 360. I think the on-disc PC version is actually cheaper than that, but go take a look. If you need more convincing, my review is actually up on this very channel, and you should watch it because I think it's a good game.
Yes, I've heard that from many people. Still haven't played it myself, haven't had time yet.
Carol
but
Long.
I'm going to be getting a copy quite soon.
Total jerk.
You know what I mean. Why don't we take a second to thank our sponsor, and then I've got more news coming, huh?
That sounds like a good idea.
Newsflash, everyone. If Max and I here can talk about video games for a living, then surely your dream job is out there somewhere, too. And if your dream job happens to be in tech, then my friends, you are in luck. Dice.com has been connecting people just like you with the highly targeted, competitive tech jobs they've been seeking for over 20 years. Even better, they've got a sense of humor, because finding a job does not have to be a miserable, soul-sucking experience. Take a look at this clip from the Dice.com Tech Job Mega Show to see what we mean.
Nailed it.
The horse is doing computer codes. I like
cute.
that. You guys should go check out the full 2-minute clip over at youtube.com/dice. And if you're in the market for a job, head over to dice.com and browse their humongous database of job listings today.
Everyone needs a job.
I like the horse video.
I like
that was fun.
video, too.
So before we get back to the show, the big annual Extra Life Gaming Marathon to raise money for sick children with diseases is happening on Saturday.
That's the full name of it.
That's the full title that I made up for it. We're going to be hosting our own stream. It'll be over on twitch.tv/Rev3Games, and it'll be starting at 8 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday, October 20th. We're going to be playing a ton of games, including XCOM and Worms Revolution and Borderlands 2 and Tokyo Jungle and Retro City Rampage and tons more. And we're going to have lots of fun people.
I'm bringing my I'm bringing my Ultra Sega Genesis collection, the Ultimate collection. Sorry, that's the word I was
you
looking
sure are
for.
hip with what the kids are
It's
into
going to be
these
awesome,
days.
guys. Did we mention that it's 24 hours long?
Yeah,
so
we're gonna be
things
doing
are
this
going to get a
for-
little bit crazy.
It's going to get weird. We're probably
Yeah.
going to get drunk, and we're going to have other people here too. It'll be fun. We're going to be giving away a ton of stuff, including copies of Borderlands and XCOM, Spec Ops: The Line. I think we have a robot action figure.
I've got a Zone of the
we
Enders
have
collectible
a
thing.
T-shirt. We have some other. We're gonna have a ton of stuff to give away. But just put it in your calendar. Our live show is not actually gonna be live this Friday. We're just gonna have 24 hours of live stuff the day after. You don't have to wait until Saturday to donate. You can head over to extra-life.org/participant/Rev3Games and start donating right now. And all the proceeds will benefit the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, which save sick kids. So do it, you monster. If you hate our particular faces but still want to help kids, the Destructoid live stream team is doing their own stream. That's going to be on twitch.tv/Destructoid, and it's all for the same cause. So it's really.
And before you ask, no, I will not be dancing on camera during our live stream. I have embarrassed myself enough this week, thank you. Which brings me to my next story. Embarrassing footage of me dancing on camera. Why, that can only mean one thing. Dance Central 3 must be out this week. Yep, Dance Central 3 came out this week. Actually, it's been getting pretty great reviews across the board. Destructoid's Chris Carter gave it a 9 out of 10. He said the story mode, which is admittedly cheesy, it puts a welcome educational spin on learning new dance moves and some old ones that they've got in there. He particularly enjoyed the party mode, which randomizes song selections and then adjusts the difficulty depending on the song. He also praised Harmonix for adding an easy mode, which he says makes it way more accessible than previous games in the series. Add in the ability to import music from the first 2 games for a nominal fee, along with the Smart Glass functionality that we've been hearing so much about, and it seems like Dance Central 3 is really giving the series a run for its money. You can read Chris's full review of the game over on Destructoid.com, and while we are on the subject of Smart Glass, that embarrassing dance footage of me I was talking about earlier, that was taken at a Dance Central 3 event last week where Harmonix was showing off the game's Smart Glass integration of all things. Dance Central 3 is actually the first game to adopt this functionality, and I wasn't really sure what to expect at first, but I gotta say, they did this one right. The app works on all iOS, Android, and Windows 8 devices, and it basically saves you the hassle of having to use Kinect to navigate the menu system, which is really the worst part of Kinect anyway. So in the Smart Glass app for Dance Central 3, you can create and edit playlists, you can queue up songs to purchase from the store. You can't actually purchase them on there, but you can queue them up and then buy them when you get back to your Xbox. You can also challenge your friends to dances and see how you rank on the leaderboards. You can view and set calorie goals with the fitness tracker, and of course there is Facebook integration if you're one of those people who likes bugging your friends about everything you're doing. The features are pretty limited, you know, but they work well and they do exactly what they need to do without any extra fluff. So I gotta say, this is a win on the part of Microsoft and Harmonix.
No, I'm personally against dancing because I think it's sinful and decadent.
Sure.
But I will say that from what I've seen, the campaign for Dance Central 3 is actually really funny.
Yeah.
Involves time travel.
It's silly, for
sure.
sure.
Yell at Chris Carter for saying
silly.
it's cheesy. It's a dance game,
It's
you
silly fun.
stooge.
I may have actually used that word for him, but
dare you.
he really enjoyed the story mode.
Yeah, I
so.
like time travel. Anyway, that's about all the time we have for today. We'll be back here with another show on Wednesday. Until then, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm Max Scoville. She's Tara Longest. And we also together are the Detoid Show. If you want none of our shenanigans and all of our links to our episodes and stuff like that,
You should have at least one of our shenanigans.
you have to follow all of us or you will not get all of the achievements or something. Anyway, we'll see you guys later. Remember to recycle and don't hit anybody with your car or something. What? I don't know. That's good advice.
Get out of here with your liberal agenda.
All right. Have a good night.